Hi, everyone. Welcome to another intention setting clinic here at Spiritual Workout. I'm Sam, you all know me, and I am the co host and technical support for Spiritual Workout. Let's see who's here. We have Aaron, Leslie, Stephen. I almost said Sleven. Okay. So, well, as you know, there are three ways to interact here at Spiritual Workout, rated from least to most important. For one, there's the chat, which is always available to you. We love when you guys say hi and introduce yourselves or just make little comments there. That way, everybody can see who is here at the beginning of each clinic. Second of all, we have the Q&A feature, which is down at the bottom of the screen. This is where you can ask Stephen any random questions on your mind that you don't necessarily want to come up for, but you still would like answered. Finally, we have our favorite way to interact, the raise hand button, also at the bottom of your screen. And that just signals to us when you click it that you want to come up and you want to have the full spiritual workout experience. Set your intentions and talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So now that everyone said hi, let's bring up Stephen.
Yo, yo, yo. Where'd you go?
Sorry, I had to turn on my
I'm,
fan. My
I'm
room was
all alone here, Sam. You can't leave me alone.
had to turn on my fan. It's hot in my room.
Oh,
It's hot here in Miami.
I am not having that issue.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now
I
I'm
wish
having
I
an
still
issue where I can't see the chat.
you aren't. It disappears on you, right?
Hmm?
It disappears on you, right?
Yeah, I had it going before. Show chat preview. I'm clicking what I normally do. It's not doing it. Participants. There we go. Got it. Hi,
Yeah.
everybody. Hi, Sam. Thanks for getting us going here. So it must be Wednesday. What do you want? 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 What do you want?
Wednesday.
Why is that question so important?
It is
I don't
Wednesday.
make the rules, people. Law of attraction. It's just a thing, like gravity. I drop this, it's going to go down until that physical law changes. This is a physical law, the same as gravity. It just means we're magnets all day, every day for some version of what we're putting out. What are we putting out? We're putting out what we think about. We're putting out what we talk about. We're putting out for sure how we feel. It all adds up to a certain vibration, and the universe only and ever can and will say yes to any of that. So, whether we are thinking and talking in terms of what we want or not, we're going to get more and more of what we're thinking and talking about and feeling. So, this entire project, practice within a practice, is about, unless you just don't care, that's a want in and of itself. I want to not care. I want to live by default. I want to just wake up every day and take what comes and not have a say in what comes. That's fine. That's a choice that anyone can make. Choices abound. We're making them all the time. Most of us, however, when asked, hey, would you like to have something to say about what shows up in your life? Most of us seem to say, yeah, tell me a little bit more about that. That's what all of this is. It's just practicing, engaging the law of attraction, because it's always on anyway, in a way that fits us and serves us and is conscious, if you will. So nobody has to do any of this. And yet, most of us seem to want to. So this entire clinic is about uh, engaging that practice, getting in touch with some of what the mechanics are, because there are a few kind of rules of the road to follow that enhance the entire process. And that's really what we focus on here. Our process is basically in two phases. Phase one, I don't know what I want, all the way down to clearly and well articulated, uh, hopefully on a spiritual workout worksheet or however you care to do it. Now this thing is shiny, it's clear, it's well articulated, beautiful, but it doesn't go in a file cabinet. Nobody uses file cabinets anymore. It doesn't go in the recesses of our devices. It doesn't go in our pocket. It goes into our daily practice, ideally, because once we've got an intention shiny and clear, it's not going to do much until we really embody it, until we get to that, to where that is what we're thinking about, that is what we're talking about easily, readily, organically, excitedly, and we conjure the feelings that go with it. How do I want to feel when this thing that I'm wanting is made manifest? How do I expect to feel? Oh, I think I'll feel really satisfied. I think I'll feel excited. I think I'll feel uh, engaged and connected. Well, fantastic. If the law of attraction is always on, feel those things now and bring them to you. Bring more of that to you. That's what phase two of our process is about embodying our intentions so that we think and talk and act about them like I just said, readily, organically, excitedly, easily. And that's it. The process, not terribly complicated. And yet, it is often somewhat fraught for us, largely A, because we're not accustomed to thinking and talking in present tense language about something that we're wanting to be, do, or have in the future. Fair enough. It's also fraught because we have all kinds of acquired thoughts and ideas and beliefs and reasons why A, we can't even express the desire, or B, why this desire cannot, will not, might not ever be possible. So in our uh, process here, we endeavor to divide what we want, ideal world, nobody can say no, money's no object. Separate that from all the thoughts and ideas and doubts that we have about whether or not it's possible. So, in the beginning of our process, we are separating these two things that normally go all together. Wow, that would be really good, but that'll never happen. That would be amazing, but I don't think it'll happen. That would be fantastic. I'm not sure I deserve it. That would be awesome. I'm not sure it's okay to even ask for this, right? So we have all those thoughts and ideas going on usually at the same time. So step one here, it's not is to separate these things out. That's what we start to do in our phase one with getting clear about what we want, foot on the gas, and seeing what we have that might add up to our other foot on the brake. Anyway, you guys all know this, so we are here every week to hone our practice. I'm eager to hear thoughts, ideas, experiences about what's going on in your own individual intention setting practice within our spiritual workout practice. I can't encourage you enough to have that. Uh, we know for sure when it comes to intention setting and this whole subject that copying from each other, which we were taught not to do in school, is something that we do very much here. Wow, Sam was just talking about an intention he has. It gave me an idea. I want that exact same thing or some version of that. Fantastic, you know? Or in our intention setting, well, what do you do? How do you get to embody your intention? Well, I do it this way, and I do it that way, and she does it that way. They do it that way, and all of those things. And it's like, oh, I never would have thought to do that. I never would have thought to look for an app on my phone where I could speak my intention and play it under my pillow all night long. Wow, I'm really glad somebody here brought that up. That would never have occurred to me. Things like that. So, uh, you know me, we're here because I like to do this work with many people at a time. And That's especially true when it comes to intention setting. So I'm going to shut up now. We have all veterans here at the moment. So let's talk about anything you guys want to talk about, including you, Sam.
Of course. So,
So I'm getting tired of the sound of my own voice. And we're only 10 minutes in.
no, I think I think everyone here has intentions that they're working towards.
I trust they are.
Yeah.
And they might not need any extra support or guidance today because of their veteran natures.
Well, if that was true, why would they keep coming back?
Listen to other people. It's tapping from 4:30 to 4:50, so 20 minutes. And did that, I'm pretty sure, Christy, you're tapping to get back to sleep, right? Oh, definitely the way to go. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, I was really thinking about that yesterday. I made a little comment in the forum of how two different people having a similar experience, waking up in the wee hours and would rather be asleep. What's going on with each of them when they wake up in the wee hours, totally different. And how they use tapping to navigate back to where they want to be, completely different. So that was the way to go. That was Joe. I'm tapping to stay in the connected space. There you go. That's what I was getting at. That there were two different. Yeah. So Christy's waking up saying, oh, if this is a juicy connected time, let's stay in that space. Joe's trying to get back to sleep. Like I say, two different people waking up at the same time in different, for different reasons with different reactions to it. And then, of course, different ideas for how to use tapping with that. So thanks for the clarification, Christy. Much appreciated. Silence is deafening. I know I say this all the time. I got to go out and rustle up some more spiritual work hours. An ongoing project, to be sure. I have a
Christy has
question.
a
If no one has anything, I'll do my best to answer.
Chris bring you up.
You're going to come up, Christy?
Well, she usually does, so I just brought her.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello,
Christy.
hello.
All right. Hold on a second because I need to pull this thing up. This might have been last night or, yeah, I think it was last night. But we were talking about the chakras yesterday. And so this thought came in my mind because prior to what, Sunday, not last Sunday, but Sunday before, I didn't know that I was experiencing like the feelings of shame, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
kind of came into my head last night, and then I was looking at this, and I was like,
Mm. Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, isn't that though interesting if we think about the last few months that it started with the anger, and underneath the anger was grief, and now it's like, oh, and underneath the grief was shame. And so I think my question, if you can answer, is kind of like, well, it seems like there was a lot of either blockage or I don't know what you would call it, repressed energy or something, but like, how could all this stuff be down here? But I would still be able to access all this up here, right? Like have a very robust relationship with spirit and whatever. And those are the higher chakras and
Mm-hmm.
connect to these, spirit energies and realms and whatever. And I was like, well, that doesn't I thought like when they talk about like Kundalini awaken, like it has to start from the root and stuff. And so I was like, I don't understand, but it's very apparent that like my lower chakras were super gunked up.
Yes. And yet easier to access the higher frequency energy material, right? You do enough up here. I always see it as sort of like this energy up here starts to get going, and then that sort of pulls starts to pull the other energy up. I don't know. It's just a
Okay.
little
Sam says
theory.
his I mean, I don't know enough about it because I never like sought out Kundalini awakening, but I just you hear it and people always say like it starts at the base of your spine and it goes up and it's like,
Mhm.
well, I'm the other way where like, and I think for me, at least when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, I also was very disassociated, right? So it's like you got to go somewhere. So I went up instead of down if you have a choice, but I kind of went up and out of my body and um
Right.
to whatever realm felt safe to me, which would have been spirit, which is where these higher energies were. But I just like thought that was so interesting that I was like, it was literally like layer by layer, like first the anger, then the grief, now the
Yeah.
shame. But now like I'm able to embody these energies and and I'm like, well, that's cool. So I don't know. I just didn't know if you had any thoughts on that, like how that
Well, my one thought is what it always is it's a nonlinear process, right? And every single one of us, it's just when we're being present to what is and really practicing presence, and somebody comes in and says, well, here's what's going on with me, well, then that's where we start, right? There's a reason why that is top of the mind. Uh, as for the order of how things go and whatnot, like we already, for me anyway, I already buy into the fact that it's not going to be a linear thing. And I guess just kind of write it off to that right off the bat. I think it's very interesting though, because so realizing even after or during a lot of spiritual work that you have or a person has, some low frequency energy still hanging out, guilt, shame, that kind of stuff, um, you know, doesn't seem particularly unusual to me because I'm not expecting it to go in order anyway. And just because you have found some, everything, who knows how much? So there's guilt, there's shame, there's whatever. But is it this much of your life experience? Is it this much? Is it da da da? Did it make more sense for you, Christy, to be doing this stuff first to then get it? Apparently so. Why do I say that? Because that's the way it happened, you know? And also, I think it's fascinating just to look at a scale like that, and you see shame at the very bottom. And we've been talking about, I think it came up yesterday or the day before, it comes up a lot, that this whole human experience of ours and the way that we have been living as humans for some time, the whole experiment, the whole game was to pinch ourselves off from source and act like we're disconnected from it. And
right.
what is more disconnected from source than a belief, some version of a belief that as a human being, I'm just no good. I'm no good. Is that not
The polar opposite of the scale.
exactly? Exactly. So,
Okay. Well, I just thought that was interesting. And then I had one of those connected moments and I almost missed it, but I was like, oh,
during
yay.
your during your middle of the night or
No,
early morning.
I went to the gas station this morning and was trying to go to the gym and I was getting an
Okay.
energy drink and I walked in and the lady at the register was like super like loud, like startled, like was hello. And I was like, okay. And I wasn't quite awake yet. So I went to get my energy drink and then I came up to the register and it just kind of like I don't know if it was like a thought that like clicked in my head about that like super loud hello and these connected moments. And I was just like, here's my Red Bull. And I don't know, I think she said something. She was like very nice. She was like, is that all for you, honey? And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to wake up and get myself moving for the gym. And then she starts telling me all about like she can't have Red Bull and like she'll be running around in circles or whatever and all this stuff. But I was just like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't to me as like as connected as the other two, but it was still like I would have completely missed that moment if I had just stayed in that sort of sleepy, hazy, like I'm not quite awake, but I had that,
Earbuds.
yeah, I didn't have earbuds in, but I was like pause and notice like how extremely loud her hello was, and that to me, that was like a pay attention, wake up kind of thing. And so it was like,
Mhm.
take that opportunity. And then I walked out of there and I was like, I feel like I don't even need my Red Bull anymore. Like that was such a nice little moment. So I was like, thank you, universe. Yes, more, please.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely, I guess the point is maybe I have to like sometimes be paying more attention also, that like I miss
Well,
these.
this is a form of magnifying an intention, right? Looking for being on, not that you're like hunting, it's just living life, but being aware of and noticing anything that shows up that's in the realm. Was it as strong and powerful as the one 2 days ago? Maybe not quite that, but it's still in the realm. It's still an example of it. So I'm going to magnify more of that. And the magnification in this sense could just be, on the drive from there to the next place and just really taking it in, noticing it, and exaggerating it, making hay out of it.
Making a what?
Hay,
Okay.
make hay. Look it up.
Okay.
I
Well,
feel like I'm I feel like I'm agent dating myself. Like you make hay of something. It's like you make a
wait,
big deal
what?
out of it. Oh
Uh,
my God. I
uh,
cannot be one of those people, but I might be.
well, what I hear you saying is sort of how I know those hearts will come. Like
Yes.
I can do this, but I didn't think about it in that way of like, oh, more connected moments come, they'll come. I wasn't, I guess because they're so new, I didn't even think about it like that. Like, send me more universe, just like the hearts. And while I'm out looking for hearts, like I can
Yeah,
look for connected moments.
yeah, absolutely. Throw it into the mix, magnify. That's because you're gonna get to the point where that's just everyday life.
Right.
Everyday life. It looks like, seems like that's where you're headed if you're not already largely there of creating that new inner infrastructure, that new default that we were tapping in the other day, right?
But you see, I feel resistance. We're like, but what about when I don't want to be so connected? Like,
That's your
oh,
choice. Choices abound. You can walk, that reminds me of living in this little town when I first moved here 20 years ago. And I'm a city person. I don't, I go to the country for getaways. I don't live in the country, but I was living in the country and uh, really enjoying it. And after not long period of time, I thought, oh, this must be what it's like to live or be a part of a big family, which I wasn't, where there are all these people and they all know each other um, and then start to know things about you, over some
right.
period of time. Make hay while the sun shines. Thank you. Thank you, Gina. And Gina knows something. Anyway, so that's,
Mm.
yeah, I think you're thinking of that. Make hay while the sun
Like, so
shines.
you're literally making the hay. I don't know how you make hay.
The earth
Pull
grows
it.
it.
What?
The earth grows it.
I don't, we've gone off track. I'm like, I don't even know what hay is.
Making opportunities. In other words, the sun's out, so come on, hay. Let's make some more hay while the sun's shining. It's
Like hay, like
exactly what I was
horses?
talking about. Thank you, Gina. It's exactly that idea of taking opportunities, magnifying what shows up, making hay. Hey, the sun's out. We're making hay, and all good things are happening. Can't make hay
Is
when the sun's not out.
is this like hay that horses eat?
Yes, you live in the
Okay.
country now, don't you? Some
Yeah, but I,
that bale, those bales of hay you drive by on the farms.
yeah, that's what I feel like they're doing. They're making the hay, these
Well, the
rolls of
hay has already
hay.
been made, and now they're harvesting it.
Okay, because I don't know
It's
what
like
hay. I
making a
thought
flower, making a plant. The sunshine and the water.
we are so Gen X. Make hay. Uh, yep.
Anyway, to that point, so just to wrap up my little small town story. So now I feel like I'm living in a big family and it's really sweet and nice. And it's like all those things you say, the blessing is the curse. So it's so charming and sweet
Mm,
and it's what everybody loves about it. And then some days you just want to get your freaking mail and not have an entire whatever.
right.
Choices abound. You can just Put your blinders on, you can do your thing, you can put your earbuds in, but then you're being intentional and more conscious about it, and you're doing something that you used to kind of have to do for survival, and
Okay.
now you're doing it for a completely different reason. All of this conversation is evidence more and more, Christy, of just your new um, way of being, your new inner infrastructure,
Even,
new default.
but on the flip side,
Take it home. Yes.
I have I guess it's an intention because I put it on my wall, like morning tapping, practice meandering, and then practice the feeling state of that, being connected. And what I'm learning is I am terrible at meandering, terrible. But as I'm even learning this, like, I was like, this meandering applies to like not just when I'm actually outside meandering, but like spiritual workout meandering. Like we know I want everything now. Let's tapping project this 10 times a day, every hour and it was like, this is also for you to practice meandering spiritually of just like being more along for the ride and letting go of like trying to force the things and like the growth moments will come and like you don't have to gym. And I was like, man, I bad. So I did some yoga this morning because the gym wasn't working out. And I was like, well, this is really nice. So I feel like I'm sort of pendulum swing of like the connected is this sort of very hyperactive, charged energy, whereas the meandering's like slow, methodical, integrated. I'm like, I don't even know how to like balance those two things. But I do feel like I feel like there's definitely a value in it's like savoring, right? Like
Yeah.
savoring the moment, savoring and I don't know how to do those. Like,
Well, it's a lot more of this, right?
yes, except for I would be present to have the connected moments also.
Yes.
I think what it is the balance, like, or how to channel the energy, right? We talked about that yesterday of like, okay, if I'm not all up in everyone else's business, if I'm not doing, where does all this energy go? Well, it's like, oh, connected moments, but then also like take that energy and be mindful and slow it down. And like, so it's an energy management issue.
Yes. I am thrilled for you to have an energy management problem in this regard, because what you're doing is exactly what we do when we clean up. I say it to people all the time when they're on day one, if you will, of grokking some of these ideas, when they're on day one of, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be up in everybody else's business all day, every day. And day one of being less anxious and learning to trust that they'll know what to do when it's time to do it. All of this, right? And I wind up saying, wait till you see how much time and energy you will free up for other things when you're no longer investing so much of your precious time and energy in this bullshit. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And now they reach the point where you are, where it's like, yeah, okay, is this what you were talking about? All this energy, all this time? Yeah, exactly. And so have fun with it, be light with it, be luxuriate in the time and the energy that you have to be conscious about where you're going to invest it. Today, I'm just going to invest it in this thing called meandering because I suck at that and there seems to be something to it. Okay. That is a zillion times better than being up in other people's business, taking responsibility for it you're not responsible for, freaking out about what everybody else is doing and what they're thinking about you and what you're doing and being anxious about it. Is it not a trillion, zillion, billion times better?
Yes, it is. And I think it's just funny because it's like practice meandering is in its own self the practice of like, I guess, getting better at meandering too. It's just like, okay, so I did
Yes.
yoga, right? And I was like, oh, that feels really nice and like grounded and whatever. But I was supposed to be running. So there's just like a frantic kind of energy that I generally have that's like, hey, you really want to start getting better at just kind of taking it easy, but still with energy. And then it's like, oh, so tomorrow I should be amazing at meandering, right? And it's like, practice meandering. I'm like, okay. So then all these intentions and whatever, it was like that in my mind. It was like, it's a bigger thing than just go for a leisurely walk for me. Now it's like on a
Yes,
spiritual level.
well, this is part of, I don't want to put the cart above the horse or ahead of the horse, and I don't want to impose upon you, but it's clear that you've crossed some spiritual Rubicon somewhere where this new way of being, having let go of some old ways of being, are just starting to take hold, right? And so, again and again and again and again, this extra energy, intention, 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 intention.
Yeah, so we'll have to come back to that because I don't have an energy use intention or whatever, and I wouldn't.
Well,
But I guess
you'll have lots of them, I
what I'm
think.
we will need to come back to is like how to not be rushing because that's what I'm doing. Like somebody texted me, she was like, I meander 90% of my time. Uh-oh. And and I was like, I meander zero. Like zero. I'm always in a hurry wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing. And I was like, so I want to not do that. And I want to be present. I want to be more like just slower and enjoying, but I still want to be like energetic or think about Delilah vitality, right? Like, and how do you mix
Mhm.
those two? How do you have like robust energy whilst at the same time going slow and enjoying?
You'll see. And don't look for one way for that to happen.
I'm thinking of a horse, right? Because like you guys are on the hay and like, well, horses are very powerful, but they can walk really slow or they can trot. So
Yeah.
like the opportunity to still like, I'm a powerful whatever, who can go slow when wanting to, who can go fast when wanting to, but like at the end of the day, there's still all the power and energy there. I don't know.
Left
This is all
over,
new. Meandering came yesterday. So I'm like,
right?
okay. This was a
You,
download, one of those
yeah,
downloads of like, hey, practice this.
right. Practice, play, experiment.
Right. But I didn't know when I got it, like to me, it was go for a walk and pay attention. And then as it's getting fleshed out, it's more of like, oh, even your spiritual journey, trusting the ride, like you don't have to rush that.
Trusting that image you showed us earlier. Wow, I was up here, now I'm down here, and that's some meandering in a different way.
Okay. Well, more intentions, but more tapping. And then I said I was going to do this for 2 weeks, but I did have a question of like, I just wait till the 2 weeks and then come back and talk about it? Or like, it's like this is something that I'm gonna have to do now all the time of like, as soon as I wake up, tap to get my mind to like not like go to crazy places.
I guess you'll see again.
Well, when you wake up, like you said, your mind is always going. So I was like, well, this tapping is really helping me, like I said, to wake up and be like, we're not doing that. We're just gonna focus on this.
Yes,
And that's it. So I'm like, but wait, then does that mean I have to do it for like the rest of my life every day?
I would say no because of my belief about what tapping is, which is a tool for these times. As we wake up as humans and feel drawn to new, different ways of doing things, uh, tapping just helps to let go of the old stuff. But I've not seen anybody engage, bring tapping into their lives as a tool to use virtually every day for all kinds of things. I've never seen anybody, starting with myself, need more and more and more of it over time. I've only seen people need less and less of it over time. Now, if you're applying it to a brand new subject, there might be more need for it on that subject for the moment, but it's just impossible for me to believe that that's going to be a requirement in order to maintain a certain way of being throughout life. I think it's more of training wheels to get you going, to speed the process of letting go of what doesn't serve, to uh, buttress the process of embodying what does serve, such that that is what supplants the other way of being.
Okay. Well, to be continued, I will report back, but it definitely is helpful as a tool right now to very first thing to be like, no brain, you're going to do what I say.
Yeah, yeah, good, good,
But
absolutely.
I'm still half awake while it's happening. So I'm not even 100% sure what I'm tapping in. I'm pretty sure it's on connection, but I'm like, I'm super asleep and something about connection and da, 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 da. Like, but either way, I'm just not like,
And
you know,
even, yes. And then when that 20 minutes was over, do you get up and start your day, or do you go back to sleep, or?
I think this time I got up, I would have liked to go back to sleep, but it wasn't happening. So
Yeah. All right.
we'll see.
Well,
All right.
speaking
Thank
of you,
you.
you're welcome. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
as always.
Sam.
Christy, I have a question. Have you heard about the Ayurvedic doshas?
Doshas?
The doshas is like your body's composition. So there's three doshas, right? There's kapha, which is water and earth, or just earth. Yeah, earth and water. There's vata, which is air, and then pitta, which is fire. And a lot of what you're saying about like always being on the go, go, go reminds me of the pitta dosha.
That's it. Pete. That's me. I'm a Leo. Fire.
Yeah, and there's a lot that in Ayurveda that helps to tranquilize that fire energy in order to be able to have those moments of like meandering and being more in balance, feeling like more in balance in that energy.
Is that like
So
acupuncture? Or what
no,
is
no, it's like daily practices and routines that are like recommended Ayurvedically for the different doshas.
you
There she
you
goes. You
can
sent her off onto a new research project. She'll be back next week
well,
with an entire
right. Which is not what I
protocol.
but
She's going to have
if
3 practitioners lined up that she's already seen and learning from.
it's true though. Let's see.
I
How do you
love it.
spell
I
this?
think it's great.
Doshas? Oh, I see. Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Now I have something else to learn.
Something to do with all that time and energy.
Is
That's
yoga
way
one of
more.
those things?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
One
Because
of
the
those.
yoga brought that down. I was like, "Ooh, I like this. This is nice." And I know that like yoga's movement, but it's also that focus on your breath. And so just after 30 minutes of yoga, I was like, I feel really centered. That's really nice. So now I was like, but now I got to do yoga every day. See? But I'm sure
Or
if
not.
it can come in, we can incorporate it.
But there's a lot of it. There's a lot to it. It's like daily routines, practices, exercises, foods that like amplify and also calm energy. Like it's like a whole practice in itself.
Yes, I feel I definitely need some balance because, like I said, I have this very frenetic
Yeah.
energy, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice. This yoga, calm but alert still." So the energy management problem. I need calm energy. Okay, well,
So Erin's saying she likes Kundalini for moving energy. Leslie's saying, I need calm energy right now. So I'm sure you're
probably
tapping, Leslie.
ish. Okay, thank you, Sam. I'll look that up.
Mm.
Of course.
Thanks, Christy.
Thank you.
It's not wine time yet. No, it is somewhere. It definitely is somewhere. You want to come up, Leslie? So one thing, so somebody like Leslie says what she says, I need calm right now. Come on up. We got more time
Awesome.
and nobody else is clamoring. Otherwise, we're just going to go. So come on up. But so there it is. I need calm energy right now. It's not wine time. I have a way of calming my energy, but I don't want to do that at 10:40 in the morning. So, what could I be doing? Well, of course, tapping, says me. But also, it's Wednesday. So I would also talk about an intention for calm. Anyway, hi, Leslie.
Hello. Um,
We
so
dragged you up here.
I'm not as bubbly and happy as Christy is today. So you're gonna
Oh,
have to
because
do some tapping to get out the bad energy that people put on you.
lay it on me. What do you got?
So I guess, yeah, I guess maybe that I should try to do some tapping is what I should be doing. But when you're
Does it even occur to you in all seriousness?
when I'm in this state, no,
Yeah.
no. I mean, when I'm in this state, it's barely go to the bathroom. It's like, gotta get this done, get this done. I'm completely overwhelmed. And so the idea of even taking, 15 minutes to do some tapping isn't something that comes to mind.
Okay. Also, intention wise. So what you're describing, this to me is an example of the nitty grittiness of bringing our practice into everyday life. So I'll take the focus off you for a moment, Leslie, and just talk generically about what you describe as a dynamic where it's like, okay, here I am. I'm present to my life. I'm not resisting it, but I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff right now that is not really what I want to be doing. Maybe it's too busy, or it's not really what I love to do, or I'm not even sure if this relates to you specifically or not. But the practice and the idea is that regardless of what's going on in our present moment is other than what we would prefer, then we do a few things. We're present to it. We're not going to resist it. We're not going to judge it. We're not going to, whatever. It is what it is. We're already here. It's already been created. And I would prefer something different, but I'm committed to being here. Maybe I'm getting paid to be here. This is part of a bigger issue. So, at a minimum, while I'm not having 15 minutes to go tap, while I'm having to do all this stuff that I don't want to be doing, at a minimum, law of attraction still on, I can at least be thinking about what I'd rather be doing right here, right now. Now, some people say, well, that's denying reality, but we're not denying reality. We're accepting reality and then springboarding from it. Now, some days, some moments, we're able to springboard from it and take a half a day off and cultivate a new intention. But other times we're in the thick, like we're saying, of where we are. It's not so much to our liking. We're committed to it. We're not going to walk away. Choice is bound. We're still there for some reason. So now all it really boils down to is, well, here's where my body is. Here's what my body is doing. I need some of my mind to tend to what it is, but I have a whole bunch of extra mind, time, energy to spend. Am I thinking about resisting, hating everything that's going on right now? Or am I thinking about what's next? Am I thinking about one way or another, I'm going to not be doing this anymore? One way or another, my life is right. You see what I'm getting at here?
Yes. Yeah, no, I do. Because, yeah, it has been resisting and, yeah, total negative. But I see what you're saying.
So there you are at work, busy moment, having to do all this stuff. What's your ideal? What is that intention looking and sounding like? Do you have it enough at the ready so that you can do what I'm talking about?
Um, I mean, yeah, kind of, except it's just,
So,
yeah, not clear enough to where I picture,
all right, well, let's take a few minutes here and give you an opportunity to just practice. Let's just spitball it. So if we were in your mind right now and you were thinking about what you would prefer to be experiencing, what is that? Just let's converse about it.
Yeah, it's all generalities. There we go.
All right, that's okay.
So it would be calm, it would be feeling positive and working with people, that are happy and positive. It would
Hmm.
be, um, doing something I'm confident doing.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of thinking, yeah, the opposite of what's going on. Um,
Exactly, exactly. Because this is, we started all the time. Law of attraction is a real thing, right? So what you're thinking about, no matter where you are and what you're doing, is also creating more of it. So bringing this practice into your today, unless you want to start drinking now, or as Christy says, it's afternoon where she is, right? So
yeah, she's close.
so unless you want to just start doing something else like that, like I say all the time, you're thinking anyway. And you're thinking a lot about what is going on, and what's going on is not your preference. It's what you're doing for today. We've already kind of navigated to that, right? Yeah, I'm still at this job for all these reasons, and so that's not changing today. What can, and I dare say should change, if you want to create something different, is thinking about this something different. And whether it's general or specific in this moment, whether you have, uh, doesn't matter.
Okay, something that came to mind, because maybe this will springboard, is I did have kind of a success of an inspiration the other day,
Oh,
that I
you
was going to
did.
share on Monday, but my head hurt so badly I had to lay
Mm.
down and I couldn't get online. So,
Mm.
because I kicked around this idea of doing career coaching, helping
Oh, yeah.
students or whatever, and doing some, but felt like, well, yeah, after I did some research and realized I'm going to have to get a degree, another degree, and blah blah blah. So I went for a walk on Monday because I was so stressed out. So, and sometimes I do that. I'll go for a walk around the block. So I
Mhm.
went for a walk around the block, and I'm standing there at the signal waiting for the signal to change, and I just kind of look over my shoulder, and there's this lady next to me, and she's got this jacket on that says USC Career Center. And so I looked again, and so I wasn't going to say anything, and then I just said, "Oh, are you a career counselor?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Oh, do you like doing it? How long have you been doing it?" And she said, "Oh, I've been doing it for 2 decades, and I love it." And I said, "Oh," and I kind of started talking to her really quickly, and I told her a little bit about, well, I'm not sure that I want to go back and get a degree. And she said, well, probably the best thing to do is volunteer somewhere. And I said, oh, is there opportunity for that? And she said, yes, we take volunteers. So, so I sent her an email then the day after and just said, hey, you mentioned you have volunteer opportunities, and I sent her my resume. She sent me a message back saying, well, can you do a cover letter? And then we might need somebody for fall. So I tried to stay positive about that about the time, because I was thinking, oh, cool, I can start doing some volunteer work right now there,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But she's saying not till fall. And then your voice came in my head of, we don't we don't say when it's going to happen.
I don't even need a voice. That's
I
all I need.
know. So I said, okay, so when you're talking about, okay, think of something else, maybe I'm trying to then, okay, maybe even in the fall, something good will come out of this, and just keep thinking towards
Well,
that.
yes. So exactly. And letting go of any attachment to any of it or how it's going to go. What you're talking about right here is getting me super excited, because this is a fundamental part of intention setting. Now, let's be clear. We usually start, okay, give us something you want, one thing. Now we'll do 5, 8, 10, 12 things, whatever. And here's our process and all of that. And yet, a, a fundamental component of being a spiritual being, uh, living intentionally, thinking about law of attraction and thinking about inspiration, what gets us excited. This job I'm doing is not very exciting to me. Oh my God, this conversation with this lady at the bus stop, no accident to any of that. Did you think that was a coincidence by any chance?
I didn't think it was a coincidence. I mean, to see somebody and with her jacket on that said it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't even. So our job all day, every day is to find of whatever is on our menu, as it were, the thing, find the thing that lights us up a little bit, or even if it's a teeny tiny bit more than the other thing. You know, we often say sometimes our choices are between poop and crap, but we're still going to make a choice. Why? Because there's something just a little bit juicier, better, less awful in this one than this. So we're going to do that. And then you just stay with that until it kind of peters out, if it does, and until the next thing and the next thing. So for you in this example, what we're talking about is, wow, that conversation, amazing. And you could be magnifying, wow, I don't have to do anything other than live my life, stay aligned with my intention, and inspiration will come. And it's going to come in all kinds of different ways. I was just walking around the block to give myself some physical relief, and here comes this message, right? And so this is the practice. So if you heard me say not when, or let go of when, you're also hearing me say let go of how. So you've already had a huge success from this, from my point of view. You know, an example of just synchronicity, serendipity, things showing up. Things are always showing up, but there's positive and negative, as it were, right? This is a very
Hmm.
positive, synchronistic event to build upon, to talk about, to think about, to expound upon. So you've got one thing, well, maybe I got this thing going on there. What could happen between now and the fall in this area? If she's one person at one school, do they not have this opportunity at other schools and other things, right? So, I mean,
Right.
when we get in the habit of cultivating and magnifying and taking little sparks and making them into flames and bonfires, then this is kind of what we're going to be doing all the time. And especially for you, Leslie, where you're still mostly steeped most days, every day in the less preferred thing, anything that comes that's even, as we always say, remotely aligned with, if not very aligned with what we want, that's what we make hay about. So
I
even while
agree.
you're doing the mundane task, and even while you don't have time to go tap, you are thinking.
Okay. Yeah, I've got to keep that feeling of, this is just something that I've made a choice to do right now, even though,
Yeah,
especially right now, it's like the most awful thing in the world. And it is. It is. I mean, physically, my body hurts. I'm exhausted. Yeah, if I have a glass of wine during the week, my husband knows something's wrong, and I did on Monday. Um, so yeah, it's like, but I've just got to keep, and that's why I decided, even though today I'm slammed, I got to get this thing done. I said, I've got to attend because hopefully something will I'll listen to something and it will help. And so this has helped.
good, good. And I appreciate it. This is really, I think you guys have heard me utter the phrase that spiritual workout is about taking these ideas into the nitty gritty of our everyday lives. And Leslie, you've given me and us an example of that right here, right now, today. And it verifies everything we're talking about. that if the law of attraction is still always on, and I haven't seen any evidence that it's been turned off, then there is always, always something we can be doing to cultivate what we want. And this is an example of bringing it right down. Okay, I'm again and again, no time for wine, no time for tapping, got to do this thing, but I'm thinking, so let me at least think in terms of what I want, at least. And I love this, bus stop synchronicity. It's beautiful. It's just, it is the whole ball of wax right there.
Isn't that funny? I mean, it was just so funny because I was just almost home and I just kind of look over my shoulder, and here on this lady's shoulder is this USC Career Center. And I thought, oh my God, this is so funny.
You're walking around and you literally looked back over your shoulder.
Yeah, because I'm up towards the curb and we're getting ready to walk across the street. And I just looked at this lady behind me because she's standing there. And that's when I saw it. And I just thought, that is so funny.
What directed Leslie's attention to that woman, would you say?
Yeah, I know. At first I wasn't going to say anything. Yeah.
Your attention was, sure sounds like you're saying, was put on there.
Yes.
So this is another part of paying attention. It's not always going to be a lightning bolt that everyone can see. It's these tiny little things that aren't tiny at all. But something made her look back. You think we're alone? You think that we're not being responded to with our intentions? You think our spirit guides don't know exactly what we're wanting?
Yeah. And because of this, I may not have said something to her, but I thought of it as, okay, is this inspiration that I need to be listening to? So I went ahead and just, said something. So thank you, Stephen, because otherwise maybe I would have just like, oh, wow, okay. And then I would have regretted it because how on earth am I going to find this person?
Right. And the more that you pull any of your intentions out, have them more shiny, more clear, more at the ready, more of that stuff will happen.
Yep.
Well, I'm really glad you came to Spiritual Workout today and that you came up and we had this conversation. It's perfect way to end our Spiritual Workout online week.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks.
Bye for now.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right. So we've done it, you guys. Another week of Spiritual Workout online. We will be back with everything next week. Thanks again, Leslie. We'll be back again next week for a full week, right? We're dropping on Monday, tapping on Tuesday, intention setting on Wednesday. Next week is the last week of the month. So I believe our minimalists will join us on Monday, perhaps. We'll see a face or two that we don't see as often. And thanks to all of you guys. Thank you, Aaron and Gina and Leslie and Christy, for your presences today and for some excellent conversations. Looks like Sam is putting up the link to the forum where we say more about what we just did. And I'm going to throw another link in here for, this is the grief and loss live stream that I'm doing with Delilah. The next installment, you should have gotten an email, will be this evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And this is installment number 5. She's calling it Unconventional Wisdom on Grief and Loss. That is the link to watch it live tonight. But also in your email, there's a link to watch anything that has been archived, which are the first 4 so far. This one will be archived after that. And unless anybody else has anything else to say, Sam, take it away.
Not today. Yeah, I just pasted that link for the forum post. That's where the recording will be.
Okay.
And yeah.
And then the recordings page, which would have all, or at least the last few weeks of recordings.
Mm-hmm. That one's
When
right
does
there.
that usually get refreshed? Thursday?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
for now.